Hey everybody, welcome back to Morning Talk with Mike here on the MT Homestead channel. Wow, it's almost the 4th of July. This year, the first part of the year has just flown by. And man, and we get to spend 4th of July at Tim's house, Ridge Life, for Freedom Weekend. We will be doing a Tuesday Sergeant's Talk TV live, and we will be doing an MT Homestead live on Wednesday. Both those Tuesday and Wednesday are both at 8 o'clock Central Time. My co-host is here. There he is. Red coat. The red coat. We're going to be talking about the red coats. Yeah.
We can talk about them all you like.
Okay. So anyway, guys,
you do know who trained your services, though, don't you?
No, you guys didn't.
Oh, we did.
A German did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we'll talk about that and more today, and we'll probably talk about 10 things that you may not have known about America during the 4th of July or independence. And I found like 50 or 60 of them, but there was 10 that I did not know. Okay. So I used those 10 and we'll talk about those. And yes, the red coats are in there also. Anyway, hey, I did pin it at the top, the link if you want to come up and join Paul and I on panel to talk about your plans for the 4th of July, or AKA Independence Day. Let's see. There is Mr. Jerry.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. So anyway, we're going to talk about that this morning, or whatever you want to talk about, but primarily 4th of July plans coming up. I want to say hello to RD Vlogs. Welcome in. Gertie Santa, how you? Teresa TV, good to see you. They're probably not in here. They came in earlier because our friend Merns Pacquiao did share out the live. Crystal's Adventure, Charmaine's here. Journey Smiles, Annie, welcome in. Let's see. Aram, hello from Turkey. Abby G. There's Joe Fix It For You. There's Tamara at Heartland Headquarters with Dink and Dank. Paul Honeyman's here from England. Butler Family Farms here. Des channel's in here. Rona Can. I'm thinking that's either from Russia or from Ukraine. I'm sorry. I don't know exactly where you're from. I do watch their channel. I have Google Translate on for channels I can't understand. It's not really Google Translate. It is a translation app that we used in Korea where I can talk into it and it'll put it in Korean. Somebody has something open. And if they talk, it'll translate from Korean back to English. And you can set it for whatever country. We found the app when we were over there, and it really came in handy. There's Wendy at Hardneck Farms. Tony at Our Cabin in the Woods. He's out weed eating this morning. Not weed eating, but pulling weeds. And he started at 7 o'clock so he can beat the heat. Let's see. Want to get everybody recognized. Ken Mason, I'll see you on Thursday or Friday. I think we're staying at the same place. We reserved a hotel in Arlington, Tennessee, which is about 25 miles from Tim. Because Tim lives out there where there's nothing except for something like the Bates Motel. And I ain't staying in no Bates Motel.
Why do you need a hotel?
That's my yarn. What's that, Paul?
Why do you need a hotel?
Because we're not ready to pull that trailer all the way to Tennessee. And we already had it reserved and paid for months ago. So
Before you decided to buy your hotel on wheels.
yes. My caravan. Well, my
Yes,
caravan.
caravan.
Yeah, there's Jennifer Ocean Homestead. John goes outdoors. Welcome in, brother. And I think I said hello to everybody. There we go. And I'll try to keep that at the bottom. All right. So, hey, 4th of July, man. I'm going to tell you that it's getting hot. It is. When we were crying that it kept raining and raining, I missed the cloud coverage, but it's getting hot, guys. The chickens are loving the travel trailer, the caravan. They have a larger space to get under during the day to get out of the heat. And yesterday, I was watching the news and I was looking out the window and I seen a coyote bird dogging the chickens. And all of a sudden he got up out of the grass and was going back and forth pacing. And I said, look at there. So grabbed the 6.5. I went out there and all of a sudden he ran to the fence line, but then he turned and he laid down and I couldn't see him. Then all of a sudden he popped up to look because I stopped moving and he popped up and number 20's in the bag. I've killed 20 coyotes since we moved here and not even thinning the population. You can hear them at night over here at the pond. Terry took the dogs out for their last bathroom break. And she said, I heard a duck squealing, just like that. And all of a sudden it stopped because she could hear the coyotes out there howling after they killed it or whatever they did. But yeah, so we got a real bad problem here in Oklahoma with coyotes. Hey, Rainy Ridge is here. Yeah, I mean, that's a prime area is that those ducks because they'll go on the bank and then the cows just come up and get them. I'm guessing ducks don't smell as well as other animals. But anyway, because you can smell a coyote, they just stink.
Where did Jerry go?
Terry?
Where did Jerry go?
Jerry's right there.
Can't see him.
Well, he was in the military before, so he might be stealth. He's in
It must be the camouflage.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Jerry.
I already been out. I moved bales off the field today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it rained like crazy last night. We got 3/4 inch of rain.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah,
I
we
had
got, we got a little bit of rain, but we didn't get nothing, really nothing.
it dumped here.
Oh,
And,
okay.
I moved the bales off the field. I'm going to move the cows today, and then I'm done for the day.
We can all see Jerry,
hot,
Jennifer.
humid.
I was taking the Michael.
Guys, you got to get your chores done early because when that temperature starts rising here, it gets hotter than snot. But hey, this morning, I'm going to tell you a story real quick. I go out there like I do every morning before Terry even gets up, and I feed the animals, let the chickens out, do some weed eating or do some mowing and get it out of the way before the heat starts, right? So this morning I go out there and I go inside. First thing I do is I feed the quail, feed and water them. and I fed all my hens, and then I have another segregated pen, part of the main pen structure that I have my extra roosters in that I still haven't dispatched and put in the freezer yet. So, because the heat's really bad. I've got a wind draft going through the shop the way I do every year, which takes a lot of the heat out. So I get done, and then I go and I get the eggs out, and then I feed the roosters. Then I grab the eggs and I turn this way, and I have a wheelbarrow right behind me because I clean the trays out to keep down on the flies and take it out and dump it in the compost pile. So I turn, and all of a sudden I see a snake in the shop. And this snake is probably a good 6 foot long. I jump back, hit the cage, it rocks, and I'm just happy I have my brooder pin right behind it. I cracked one of the trays that I pull out. I go over and I have a feed barrel, and it's about 2.5 foot tall. I jump on top of the feed barrel, and I am hyperventilating, guys, because I have a phobia about snakes like people just don't understand. And I go over there, and my hands are on the table, and I look over, okay, and I look at it again, and it's not moving. Then I look and I go, it had just shed its skin in the shop. That was its skin, right?
Like, what was the skin there, huh?
It was just his skin. And then I freak out. That means he's somewhere in the shop and I can't see him. I get up on the table, walk across the table. If you've seen my shop, I get down on the other side and I run out the door. I left it open. And I'm going to tell you something. I come inside, and Terry looks at me and go, there's a snake in the shop. And she goes, oh, dear Lord. So what does she do? She gets dressed and she marches out there and she's searching the shop for the snake. Because she's not afraid of them at all. Even if they strike. Now, if it was a copperhead or if it was a rattlesnake, that would be one thing. But gopher snakes, rat snakes, king snakes. She comes back. She goes, it's just a king snake. She goes, oh. She goes, have you seen mice in there lately? I said, no. Actually, I haven't. She goes, that's why they're not in there, because they know there's a snake in there. And I said, I don't care. And I had my Crocs on. So now that I've seen one in there, it's muck boots on every time I go out to the shop now, because I cannot. You guys shake your head, but dude, it is like a phobia.
I can't get over the Big Mike, the Army guy who was down in the trenches, who been in foxholes and stuff, is afraid of the snake.
Yeah,
that just cracks me up.
That is my biggest phobia.
It doesn't compute.
Yeah.
What doesn't compute for me is, you see the size of Terry and Big Mike.
That doesn't matter.
Of course it matters, you chicken-livered shithead.
It's up here. It's up here, and it won't leave me.
I mean, Terry just needs a correction. All she needs to do is pick up a bloody skillet, give you a couple of corrections, and get out there and deal with it. But when it's a king snake, leave it alone.
Man,
I'd leave it in the shop.
I can't. Yeah, you have. Good morning, Gary at Jailbait Tackling Outdoors.
Hey, Gary.
Karen Brest is here. Welcome in. But I don't know. It's just something about it. I just freak out. And if you watch my video I just put out, not the Lord of the Flies that just came out this morning.
I've seen that one.
Came out to members on Sunday, and then everybody else that went public this morning. The one before that, where Terry goes out there to get the rooster, and there's a snake, it just raises its head up, and she just, oh, here, come here, snake. Dude, I would have pooped my...
Boy, I bet you weren't very good in doing stealth stuff, were you?
Well, I almost had an anxiety attack when I went down for jungle training in Panama because they're everywhere. I walked around with a machete in my hand the whole time I was down there. Man, they scared the crap out of me. Ooh. So anyway, Independence Day. Just had to share that. That happened this morning. And we're going to have to get off here before 10 o'clock. I've got We Watch YouTube coming to my place. I put out on our channel last week, that I had acquired 4 rotor tillers somebody had given me and 2 lawnmowers, push mowers, and they're coming to pick up a push mower and a rotor tiller. I said I'd give them to whoever wanted them. They'd have to come here to get them, and they're coming down from just north of here to come pick up those 2 items. So we're going to bless somebody with something that they need, so they don't have to go out and buy it. I got them for free. They're all brand
Just
new.
They've
never been used, and they're an older model, like 3 or 4 years ago, and they couldn't sell them. And so they were going to dump them, get rid of them. And I said, well, I'll take them. He said, well, they've never ran or nothing. I said, well, I'll tell the people that too. I said, I'm sure there's people in YouTube world that would absolutely appreciate something like that. So even if you have to go, if it doesn't start right up, you can take it somewhere, but they're brand new. I mean, the compact ones are like $219 a pop. And I got three of them. And then they gave me a larger one. I'm like twice the size, and it's like $390 or $400. And that's one I'm keeping here on the homestead.
Walk behind rototillers?
Yeah. So there you go. And then 21.5 inch cut push mowers. So
you do realize that Alaska and Canada are both north of you as well, don't you?
Yeah. I
So
mean,
where they're coming from?
North Oklahoma. How's that? Let me specify for our redcoat friend. So there's Ralph at Webb's Web. Welcome in. So, hey, there's Rebecca. We got a whole house today for the 4th of July talk. Like I was in Minty Cactus Live this morning. She shouted you out. Oh, I appreciate that. I've been getting over my fear of snakes, and I haven't been watching any YouTube this morning. So I was
he hasn't. He's been running like a little scared girl from snakes.
Yeah.
Well, I understand his fear.
Thank you.
I understand it because when we lived in Utah, there was a timber rattler that had coiled and was getting ready to strike me as a child.
Yeah.
So I know his fear. He had a snake in his sleeping bag.
I was a Boy Scout. I told the story before. I was a Boy Scout, and we went up to Bryce Canyon area in Utah from Arizona. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and I had a Sidewinder inside my sleeping bag.
It just wanted a warm body.
Strike me is because it was enclosed with me. How I got out of that tent and up on top of a picnic table, I couldn't tell you. It all blacked out. Oh man, it scared me. And then over in Iraq, I stepped on a sand viper. And if you've ever seen a sand viper, they can get up to 7-8 foot long, and you cannot outrun them. And he latched on to my fatigues when he bit. He missed me, and I had a book or something in there, and he latched onto the cloth, and I was all of a sudden I'm going, man, it's like somebody was pulling me down. They're big and heavy, and to this day they scare the bejesus out of me. Oh,
We know how you got out of that sleeping bag, Big Mike.
I don't remember.
We know. It's called explosive diarrhea.
Yeah. Hey, so why do we celebrate the 4th of July?
For my birthday.
For Terrie's birthday. There she is.
That's a good reason.
That's a good reason.
So the 4th of July is also known as Independence Day.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is special because it commemorates the adaptation of the Declaration of Independence by the Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776. Or so I thought. Which declared the 13 original American colonies independent from the redcoats of Great Britain. This day is celebrated as the birth of the United States of America. Okay, so that's why we celebrate it. And Paul, I am sorry that you had, at the time, the most well-trained, best military in the world at the time, and a bunch of shop owners, farmers whooped your butt. Okay? I'm sorry. I apologize. I know you guys still haven't lived it down. Okay?
I don't give a shit.
And yes, we did go get the French to help us out with their ships to take your ships out and send you skulking back to Great Britain. Okay? But
The United Kingdom, as it was back then.
the British Army, soldier-wise, really didn't give a rat's nothing about the American colonies. That was all George. Okay, they didn't care. They had no dog in the fight. They didn't care. There are a bunch of traitors that left the colonies and went over there, and now they ain't paying their taxes. Soldiers didn't care. But guess what? The people that lived there cared. They're the ones that had the fight inside of them. And let me tell you something. If you could imagine, if you ever served in the military in modern times and you went out to the field and it's the winter and it's colder than all get out and you think you're freezing to death with the new cold weather uniform and equipment that they have nowadays, could you imagine what these guys were doing, wearing just leather boots with no socks, just the clothes on their body and practically freezing to death? I mean, it's amazing the grit that these our forefathers had to become an independent state from Great Britain. And Great Britain almost ruled the world back in the days. They had places all over that they've claimed they still own today, or they claim monarchy over countries and stuff like that. So it makes me feel good that my forefathers had that fight in them. They could have just laid down and given in. And then Great Britain, this would have been Great Britain, West or whatever. But
I got
Paul,
a serious question.
in his defense.
No, not in my defense. I just got one question for you. What does it feel like to trade 350 for one? You got rid of one tyrant and now you've got 350 of them.
Yeah. He's just saying stuff. He's just saying stuff.
No, he isn't. That war was all about the taxes.
It was
What-
taxation without representation was the reason that we said, we've had enough of this. They keep taking, and they don't give us nothing except more.
It's just the same as Congress.
More leadership to tell us what we can't do and what we can do.
Yeah, exactly the same as Congress.
See, and if you haven't learned it by now, Americans are some arrogant, proud people. I'm going to tell you something. I've never seen it stronger as when I was deployed overseas in different countries and stuff like that. Americans are some loudmouth people. You've seen them in England and stuff. Jerry, you've been around the world. I mean, it is just like you can pick an American out in a crowd. I don't care if you're at the Christmas market in Mannheim, Germany, you can pick out the American. And they have commercials over there on Armed Forces Network saying, don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Don't be that.
I used to laugh my head off on that.
And that's our own people telling us that we're loudmouth people no matter where we're at in the world. And we push our freedom thought and the way we are, and people just go, what? They know you're an American. And that's the first time you go to these German bars and stuff, it says no Americans allowed.
Yeah. We've got a few of them in England.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we've got nothing but respect for the American veterans and the American military.
Yeah.
But the American tourists are just a pain in the absolute arse.
And you're welcome.
For what?
You're welcome.
What, for sending your trash over here?
Yeah. Well, they're the only trash that can afford a plane ticket over there, so they're really not trash, but somehow they can afford it.
Yeah, I know. I'm still trying to get mine together.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, so here, let me tell you something. Things that you may not know that happened on the 4th of July or what inspired the 4th of July. Did you know that the first public 4th of July event at the White House took place in 1801? Okay. Thomas Jefferson was president, and according to the White House Association, the day was filled with music, food, and even horse racing on the lawn. Didn't know that.
Why did it take 25 years
You
to
actually
sort
know
out?
they had a racetrack on the White House lawn, and it had stands and bleachers and people, you'd go out there. And it wasn't like, at first it wasn't an oval track. It was like a drag race. And the people would get on their horses, race all the way down this dirt strip, get to the other end. You have to turn your horse and then race back to the finish line. I know that the Native Americans did that. They had races like that. But I didn't know they did that on the White House lawn for spectators to come in and watch. I don't know if they even gambled, but that's
That was before they put the fence up too.
What's that?
That was before they put the fence up.
Yeah, to keep out the wacko Americans that want to come in there,
the loudmouth ones.
Yeah, the big loudmouths. Ooh, Texas pecan coffee. Good. Did you know that federal regulation specifies that an American flag can only be flown from sunrise to sunset?
Why would you fly it after dark?
Exactly.
I leave mine up all the time, but I have a light on it.
Yeah.
I'm
guessing that only applies to federal buildings where they have like on installations and stuff like that. But I will tell you that I worked on the McAllister Army Ammunition Plant out here, and I would come to work at, because I couldn't sleep and I needed to get some stuff done. I've been in here, 4 o'clock in the morning or earlier, and the flag is still flying. So apparently, when you have a post full of civilians, they don't have a color guard to take their flag down. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. Hey, there's Jesse and Lisa over at Lazy Days Ahead. Welcome in. Only 2 people signed the Declaration on the 4th of July. Well, that is true too. We're going to get to that. The Continental Congress. Yep, we're going to get to that too, Jesse. Thank you for all your tidbits of information and ruining my live with all the facts.
All the Google searches.
I appreciate you, Jesse.
Jesse doesn't ruin nothing.
Linda Peterson's in here. Good morning. O'Rourke's Littlefield. Jamie, hello, hello. Let's see. Okay. We're caught up. Thunderstick Homestead. Bowen, how are you doing, Bowen? Good to see you, brother. Yeah. Yeah, he did. Benjamin Franklin did want the turkey to be the American bird.
Think of having that done. How many turkeys we would have now? Crazy.
Yeah, because you couldn't kill them.
You couldn't kill them.
Yeah. I think
that would have made a lousy Thanksgiving.
We'd probably have been eating ducks and eagles. But yeah. I know that it's a federal crime to kill a bald eagle. I don't know if there's a mandatory prison sentence. And while I'm saying this, Jesse's probably going, I know he is.
I was heading to my parents' place, and there was an eagle sitting on the road. And I'm like, okay, am I able to even honk at this thing to get it off the road? Because you're not supposed to make them mad.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever talked about that. So
yeah, you can't agitate them. You can't do nothing to them. I do know that we've had a bald eagle come in and have lunch on our property. He so happened, or she so happened, to scoot down and pick up a chicken. I guess he ordered to go. And he actually took off with it, got up, was trying to get up over the house and dropped it, swooped back down again and got it again. But if you've seen their claws, they're like as long as my fingers.
I think that's what's wrong with Drunk Girl.
Yeah, I think Drunk Girl got hit by a bird because she got messed up. Let's see. Let's go on. Did you know the population of the United States was 2.5 million in 1776 compared to that population with our population now of 340 million Americans? Could you imagine 340 people living in England? You guys couldn't even breathe.
How many?
340 million.
It feels it's getting that way now.
Aren't you guys like 93 million?
108 at the minute.
108? Yeah. Imagine over three times the amount of people living in England.
We can handle it.
Could you really?
Could be stacked on top of each other.
Could you make that much housing for them without sinking or cracking your island in half?
Our island's got strong foundations.
Okay. Oh, man. Hey, Outdoors with Vance, welcome in.
This is why I came on today, Jerry.
I
was expecting this.
Abuse.
This is abuse of the Brit guy, huh?
Does anybody Big Bear Valley Eagle live cam. I have. Yeah, I have. I like that. We have a couple of nesting pairs of eagles in this area. We see them all the time.
No, we can't keep an eagle's feather either.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
I know that when I lived in Missouri, there was some jack wagon over there on the, I think it was C Highway outside of between Dixon and Crocker, Missouri. And they kept finding somebody would kill eagles and they would take hog-nosed clips and clip them on the corner there to the barbed wire fence. And I think they found, before they caught the guy, he had killed like 3 bald eagles. And his defense was they kept attacking his chickens. So he took them out. I don't care if they eat all your chickens, you can't kill predatory birds. Okay? It's against the law.
No raptors.
No raptors.
You want to bet?
No raptors. Yeah. It's against the federal law. And in Oklahoma state law for all raptors. Can't kill them, even if they're killing your birds. So.
And you've got to put up with that. Does the state pay you for every chicken's head you turn in?
Yeah,
No.
Jesse's saying the act provide. Oh, wait, hang on. I got it. Jesse's wisdom. The act provides criminal penalties for persons who take, possess, sell, purchase, barter, or offer to sell, purchase, or barter, transport, export, import, and any time or any manner any bald eagle, and that also includes the golden eagle. Okay, alive or dead, or any part, including feathers, nest, or eggs. Therefore, so going to jail. That is one protected bird. So there you go. Hey, Christy Betts, welcome in. I keep forgetting y'all can't have eagle feathers. I got everything y'all can't have. And
Now, if you're Native American, you can.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, Native American can.
You can possess the feather. You can't go out and kill them.
No, you can. But you can possess the feathers.
Okay. Because of tribal traditions and stuff like that. Okay. Yes. All right, it makes sense. Now, you can't be living in Brooklyn and saying, hey, I'm, 0.16% Cherokee, and I took these feathers because I want to make a headdress or something like that. You have to be probably, you're going to have, even if you're Native American, you probably have to have a real solid reason for having them, like headdresses or whatever. It's things like that. I'm pretty sure.
It's because they're Native Americans.
Just because you're tribal doesn't mean you just get away with everything scot-free. Sometimes it seems that way, but it's not the case. You still have federal and tribal law you have to abide by.
It's because they're real Native Americans. No, they're not interlopers like the rest of you.
No, they're not.
They were there first.
They were here first, but it wasn't like someone just goes, poof, you're here. They migrated across Asia and across when they were closer together, 20,000 something. Now they found bones that were something like 25, I want to say 25,000 or whatever years ago. I can't remember. I just seen it on Discovery that they unearthed this area in White Sands, New Mexico, and they carbon dated it past what they actually thought the first indigenous people when they came here. They came here even many, many years prior to that. So they did migrate, just like we migrated from England. They migrated from Asia and worked all the way down to South America. So when they say indigenous, everybody came from one spot. If you believe in the Bible, the Quran, or whatever, that is fact. That nobody lived here until they migrated here. So, but I get the fact that they were the first people here. And one of the big facts that I learned on there, that like us, the preservation of their race and was paramount, and they would massacre other tribes just to survive, to take them out so they weren't threatened. And just like when, per se, the white man came across the plains, they did the exact same thing. And Indian tribes were brutal to each other. Even though they were all, per se, Native Americans, they would take the other tribe out in a heartbeat and exterminate them. So that also happened. So anyway, when you're retired, I learn a lot on these educational channels. All right, here's another one. Did you know that the youngest signer of the Declaration of Independence was just 26 years old? It was Edward Rutledge, who was a founding father and former governor of South Carolina. Did you know that? 26-year-old kid signed the Declaration of Independence and is known as one of our founding fathers. Wow. And you know what? Here's my thing. If you ever read the Declaration of Independence, just stopped and read it through, the thought that they put into that thing to make it, because everywhere you turn, our Constitution tells us how we're supposed to go about doing things and which direction to go and how to make changes has to happen. They didn't just come out and say, rule 1, blah, 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 blah. You can't kill a bald eagle. Okay? Rule 2, blah, 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 blah. You can't become a state or whatever. Nobody else can. There can only be 13 American colonies, period. They didn't do it that way. They did it in a way that made people, number one, it's not easy. It is not easy to make amendments to the Constitution. Okay? It is hard. And they made it hard for a reason. They didn't think about there are going to be 50 states when they only had 13. Okay? But they made it so you can become a state, and that means my mower's done. That was Casey machinery. So they put so much thought in it that it is a living, breathing document that the people and our representatives and our senators and everybody can make changes, but they made it so you had to work for the changes, is what I'm trying to get at. So applaud them for the forethought way back in the day.
You know why it's so hard to change?
What's that?
I'm saying, do you know why it's so hard to change?
No.
Because it was men made by men. It was made by men to piss off the women. See, we can do something hard.
Well, I mean, and then again, look how long it took to give women the right to vote.
Yeah. They knew the women would want to change everything.
Yeah. And then when you read it and you say, right now there's this big thing about birthright citizenship. And they're claiming in the Constitution it gives them the right, if you're born here, you can do it. But in fact, the Supreme Court just ruled that what it meant was that previously owned slaves have birthright citizenship. That's what it is. If they want to change it to say anyone born here, but it's specifically for previously owned slaves and birthright citizenship. If they want to change it, that means they have to go through the whole process, ratify it, have all the states sign off on it. And it's a big process, guys. It's a huge process. I wouldn't want to, I would never be a good congressman or senator because, man, that's a lot of work.
I have a nephew that married a lady from Mexico.
Yeah.
And it took a long time before she became a citizen of the United States.
Yeah.
Long time. And then you see those shows that they put out that he says they should be telling the truth, what it's really like when those people come over from other countries that are trying to get their citizenship. It's not easy.
Yeah. Hey, there's Christy Betts. She says, it's been a long time since I heard an old-timey ringtone. Old men have that ringtone. I don't need all this music and stuff like that. I just have a ding-a-ling. Hey, Jolly Elders is here. Welcome in.
Did you see what Jesse asked you?
Morning, everyone.
Mike?
Huh?
Did you see what Jesse asked you? Back up a little. He asked you if we're having this talk today because you're not going to have a live on Friday.
No, I am. If you've seen the thumbnail, I've already put the thumbnail up. We're going to have it from the Ridge.
I've already accepted.
8:30 in the morning. I think he's still Central Standard Time. Tennessee, West Tennessee. Yeah, so we'll still have one. But we're going to talk about Freedom Weekend on that day.
I'm expecting a bigger bash of redcoats.
Yeah. Hey, CB, welcome in. I said Jolly Huggers. Evelyn Newman's here. I don't put anything past the U.S. government. I'm as much a patriot as anyone here, but for different reasons. Exactly. Well, I will tell you this, like Reagan said, the scariest phrase you could ever hear is, "Hi, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you."
Yeah. The only thing here, they're forced to help themselves.
Oh yeah, I studied that, what we did to them in the internment camps and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, even if you looked Asian, you didn't have to be Japanese. Even if you looked Asian, you were put in an internment camp.
Would that work?
Christy Betts says, my uncle, who was a congressman, worked all the time. He went to 3 meetings in the morning and he was having triple bypass surgery. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, you're going to come on the 5th. Okay.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Jamie's going to be at the casino.
Those firefighters that responded to the brush fire or some kind of building fire in Idaho, and person or persons started shooting and trying to kill them.
2 of them.
Two firefighters were killed. I guess they set a fire or whatever, and somebody was laying in wait, which is also a crime besides murder. and started shooting the firefighters up in Idaho. That's crazy.
Premeditated murder should lead directly to the execution.
You can get a visa to live in the United States, but it's about 5 years before they can. Yeah, that is true. Well, my first wife, it took me almost a year to get her green card so we could PCS back to the United States. And then I had to have family members that had to sign a document that says if for any reason they would provide support for her. And they said, if you're in the military, it's easy to get a green card for your spouse. And it took about a year. So I couldn't imagine you just getting off the boat or walking across the desert or however you got here and trying to apply to become a citizen or temporary status to live here in the United States. Yeah, it's got to be hard. Oh, Chrissy, that's crazy. She has a neighbor that she like threatened to do the same thing as they did in Idaho.
Why would
The crazy neighbor needs
Hi, Tony.
a visit by somebody.
they need to reinstitute mental listening?
Tony just got done pulling weeds for over 2 hours. Whew.
Wow.
No wonder he's gone bald.
Yeah. Hey, did you know that Americans spend close to $10 billion on 4th of July food? Just for the 4th of July, $10 billion. Now, if somebody can tell me what 10 billion divided by 340 million, that'll tell you how much per person. I bet you Jesse's on it. Hey, Palmetto Paratrooper. Almost ran right over that name. Yep, check out Angie and Tony over at our cabin in the woods. Yep. Let's see. I'm going to get to
Divide
this.
by what?
Did you know that the Star Spangled Banner became the national anthem in 1931? President Herbert Hoover signed the congressional resolution making it so. Did you guys know that? I thought it was older than that.
No.
I really did. I thought it was older than that. All right. Did you know that about 50 million Americans travel more than 50 miles from their home to celebrate the 4th of July? I can believe that. Did you know that the oldest continuous running 4th of July parade is in Bristol, Rhode Island? It dates back to 1785. Is the longest running 4th of July parade in America. 1785. And then number 10, Independence Day should have been celebrated on 2 July 1776. Although the document was dated July 4th, Congress actually voted for the independence from Great Britain, aka the Redcoats, 2 days prior on July 2nd, 1776. It apparently wasn't signed by everyone until a month later, August 2nd, 1776. because back then everybody had to travel by horse. You know what I mean? So if you're in the farthest of the 13 colonies and they needed your signature, that means you had to get on horseback or walk all the way to Philadelphia to sign this document. You know what I mean? So it's not like you could jump in your car, hop on a train back then. You hopped on the mule or the horse or whatever you had. So yeah, those are 10 facts that I did not know. Jesse filled our heads with a lot of other things, and I thank Jesse for that. In fact, I'm drinking, like always, I drink my Morning Talk with Mike coffee out of my favorite mug that Jesse did for me, and I appreciate that. So what are your guys' plans for the 4th of July?
Ronald and I, he doesn't know this. So we usually go to the state capitol. I don't know if they're going to be having Independence Day, but we're going to go, but we're going to probably leave early. But yeah, we're going to go over there.
Yeah, that's Jefferson City. That's what, like 34, 39, 40 miles away?
Yes.
Yeah. But the good thing is it is a pretty easy drive straight down.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I've been there several times. They do a great fireworks show.
They even bring in eagles.
Yeah.
Ones that can't fly anymore.
Yeah.
And they talk about them. It's very interesting. Not a lot of people realize that the females are bigger than the males.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting to learn that stuff, you know.
That's because male eagles like big girls.
No, that's because
they like the curvy eagles.
It's because the girls always get to the table first.
Well, that probably too. They're the best. Just like a female lion, they're the hunters. They're the good hunters, you know. And then the male, she lays the eggs, and he sets on the eggs more than the female does.
Ooh.
Yeah. I wish the roosters would give our hens a break. And it doesn't happen that way. And I forgot to tell you, our two of our zombie roosters. I have 3 zombie roosters. I have 1 now. They started fighting, and I don't know why it's only the 2. The other one stands back. Very non-aggressive rooster, the 3rd one.
That's the smart one.
And these 2 kept fighting. They're white. And they were fighting the day before, and I'm going, man, these 2 are not giving up all day long. And then I go out there in the morning, and they are just red with blood. And both of them, one had its eye hanging out of its socket, and the other one's comb was almost ripped off, and it had puncture wounds, and it was limping around, and I couldn't see that, so I dispatched both of those. And now we have Batman in one pen. He's our AM Samani rooster. And guess who we have in the other pen now by himself? Robin. We got Batman and Robin in the 2 pens. There are replacement roosters if something happens to FDR and his son. And FDR this morning attacked Teddy and had him on the ground and just pecking on him. I don't know what it is. And he's getting weaker because he's the last one in, and the hens have already got the evening scratch ate up, and then he won't go in there until Terry puts him in there. And then in the morning, the hens will come out and eat whatever's left on the ground inside the pen before I let him out. And he won't come out of the hen house until the pen is cleared. Everybody's out. So this may not work out. So we do have backup roosters. for the hens. And not that we need to incubate any more eggs, although we are losing more hens lately. So I wait a little while because we found out that the coyotes will come back from their evening hunts after the sun comes up, and you got to wait for them to pass through before you let the chickens out. But we're getting more and more raptors and eagles, and I'm trying to get rid of the predators, but it just never-ending job. So anyway, so Paul, what are you doing for the 4th of July?
I'm going to be on your channel, Mike.
There you go. That's the right answer. And Terry's going to join me for Friday's show.
Oh, that's good. I get to look at a pretty one then.
That's right. You do. In fact, come on over here. Say hello to Paul.
I said hi earlier
We said hello, and as soon as I said hello, beautiful, she took off running.
on the screen.
She has to go and register her car and something else, don't you?
Get an oil change.
Oil change for our trip.
Oh, I see why she's dressed up. She's dressed up for the mechanics.
That's
You need to
right.
get your license renewed, Terry?
You
need to get your license renewed?
Yeah, my license plates are due.
What about your license, your driver's license?
She's already got a real ID.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got
Well,
her.
I mean,
We got ours a while back.
It's her birthday, so I figured maybe her license was time to renew it,
Well, she had to go get her military spouse ID renewed, so we couldn't do that
When
until
did we
she got perfectly. Can't just pop in and get it done, even though we passed by the ID place several times. She has to have everything right.
we go last year?
Don't forget, Jerry. Big
Yeah.
Mike's the one that's retired.
Yeah, we went last year and got the ID renewed, driver's license.
Driver's license.
Here,
So, yeah.
here in Missouri, you have to do it on your birthday, or before your birthday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You do here too, but it's a 4-year license.
But I think when
it's
they came
longer
out
on
with the
our
real
ID.
ID, they didn't care about that. You could just go in and get it because they put that 5-year mandate on the real ID that everybody had to have one.
Yeah.
And in fact, the military installations, a guy was telling me that if you come in and you want to do business on the base and all you got is your driver's license, they won't take anything but a real ID now. You can't even get on a military base without the real ID. So
So your license is only 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Mine's 6.
I think
Ours is 6.
Well, mine goes to 2032.
Mine goes to 2034.
Yeah. So I'm guessing,
That's 7, Mike.
huh?
That's 7 years from now.
Yeah. So it was 2032 is when my license, I have to get it renewed.
in Arizona, it was what, like 20 something years.
25 years
Yeah.
in Arizona.
Wow.
Wow.
I've had my license
Well,
since
you have to get a license. You have to get your first, let's say you get one at 16, and then your license is, if you look at a credit card, it's the thin side up and not sideways. So your license, and when a cop sees that, he knows you're under 21. And then when you turn 21, your license turns landscape, and they know you're over 21. That's all you got to see. Every state's probably like that. So you got to get a second license. You have to get a second license when you turn 21. And then after that, I think you get yours, however, whatever your state says, renewed, because it's a revenue thing. Okay, that's all it is a revenue thing. And then I think that you have to get another one when your state has a mandatory eye check and stuff like that. So, and I think that the one in Arizona that I got took me all the way to when the state of Arizona requires the eye test.
I think it's 65.
65 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
passed
every
my
state,
test in 8th grade.
it'd be great if every state was the same. You know, how about just having an American driver's license? You know what I mean?
No, I've got my own.
Like a UK driver's license. It's good all over the UK. Why couldn't it just be you have a
It's
US
good all over Europe as well.
and the states could sell it? They still get the revenue, but everybody's on the same sheet of music instead of 50 states having 50 different freaking rules.
Yeah, well, that's a 50-year license.
Yeah. Well, you probably, 50 years ago, you probably were lean, mean fighting machine. And then 50 years later, people change.
50 years ago, I was only 10 years old.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought you were like 70 or 75.
no,
Oh,
I'm not as old as you.
oh. Well, I'm not that old. I'm 64.
I know
think
how old you are.
Jerry's the oldest of all of us right now. He's the man of wisdom.
I'm just
Grandfather time.
You're 68, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So now we can tell
But
old age
Mike,
jokes.
the difference is I look like I'm 50 still.
Okay, Jerry.
I keep this here because when I shave it off, my daughter says, I'm not speaking to you till you've grown it back. That's when her friends keep hitting on me.
Yeah.
Next month, I'll be the same age as Mike.
Yep. That's right.
No. No.
Right.
You
Was it next
don't look as old as Big Mike, though.
Your birthday's in July?
Yes.
Oh, isn't Princess? We talked about that. Princess Diana's in July.
She was the first.
The first of July, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my dad's is the 12th, and 2 weeks after his was mine.
And then our granddaughter's birthday is July 16th.
My daughter's is July 2nd.
She'll be 15 years old. And she's 5'9", almost 5'10".
Isn't Terry's birthday in a couple days?
July 3rd.
3rd.
This Thursday, she'll be very young. She'll be 39 again.
She was born on the same day my dad was.
Yeah. She will be 39 once again.
Thunder Sticks is the 6th. Wow.
Man, we've been doing this 39 thing for what, 15 years?
Terry, you want to go out there and reverse your car all over him.
15th anniversary of her 39th birthday.
Or 39th
Oh,
birthday.
if it were, I'd be happy with that probably. If it were the 15th anniversary of my 39th birthday, I'd still be
That's right.
happy. So
Yeah.
fine.
Our birthday, our anniversary is on the 29th.
28.
28th is for you and 29th is for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
'cause
see how brave he
our
is.
documents say two different dates on it.
Mhm.
It's an Arkansas thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You see how brave he is when it comes to Terry. Terry, you just want to walk around with a king snake around you.
yeah.
Right.
He won't be so brave then.
I told him the story about this morning.
Oh,
Man.
I went out there. I found the snake skin.
Then she starts searching for the snake.
I was looking. For
You would never see me search for the snake.
Couldn't find it.
When I walk outside, my eyes are fixated right on the ground.
Well, he'd really freak out if he'd gone out there instead of Brittany the one time because Brittany
It was
went
in
out
the
there.
tray.
It was in the tray under the coil.
Yeah, I would have lost it.
Do you know there's two things you never disclose about your partner?
What's that?
One's our weight and the other's our age.
Yeah.
That's the quickest way to get a skillet to the back of the head.
There you go. Do women over there use a skillet in such a manner
Yes, we use skillets and frying pans.
for cooking and discipline?
What was it?
Yes.
I saw something the other day. It was like on one of the Instagram reels or something. It was some lady saying she was going to start telling people she was like 60 when she was 40. So people would look at her and go, "Oh my God, you look so good for your age."
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
People you're older.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I'm
meant to say
75.
You look hot.
You look awesome for 75.
Did that feedback loop go?
You see what Christy Betts said?
Angie said 29 for years. So long I need to, figure out the birthday, the truth of her birthday.
That was Tony. What did Christy
Tony did.
say? My dog was going crazy over a snake a few minutes ago. It ran back to the pond.
Yeah. And Mackenzie, our granddaughter, her dog was barking at a snake. She thought it was barking at a rabbit because they seen a rabbit run across there. And the dog was barking, and she went over there and moved the grass, and she got hit by a rattlesnake on the baby finger, and that thing swelled up.
All up her arm.
And she had to take 44 vials of anti-venom to bring down the swelling and get her blood, because it gets in your bloodstream and it coagulates your blood.
It can cause.
Yeah.
And so she had to take 44 vials, and it's like $3,000 a vial.
Yep.
Yeah, for anti-venom.
And that's wrong.
Oh, I agree.
It shouldn't cost $3,000 to save a child's life per vial.
Well, and the thing is I know that in Arizona, people come down there for, what is that certain kind of rattler that's down there that's most venomous rattle? He's the Mojave.
Yeah.
The Mojave rattler is the most venomous rattlesnake on the planet under rattlesnakes. And they're only about yay long, maybe 2 foot long. But when they strike and you get that, well, what they do is they sleep on the pavement, and people at night hunt these things, okay, pick them up, and they milk them right on site, and they collect the venom and then let the snake go. And they do that at night because the pavement is still warm. Then the desert, the sand cools down faster. So they sleep on the roads. And they said that's one of the most expensive anti-venoms in the rattler family is the Mojave.
But
And you can't possess a Mojave. It's against the law.
I just used a calculator here. That's 132,000 just for the anti-venom alone.
Well,
Yeah.
and she's covered by the Oklahoma, like it's Medicaid basically in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So
Thank God
she
for
didn't,
that.
yeah, she didn't have to pay that.
Thank God for that.
Insurance paid it.
Yeah.
Because her dad has insurance through the company he has also. Whoa. I went hiking in the White Tank Mountains in Arizona when I lived there. I didn't know there was snakes until I asked what this stuff was at the shop, and snake food.
Terry needs to get some of that.
I never heard of the White Tank Mountains. I've heard of the White Mountains. The White Mountains is where the Apache Indian tribe, they own most of the White Mountains. And it's mostly reservation. Hey, Daisy! That's not her. There's Daisy. Welcome in, my friend. Good to see you. It's always good to see Tamara, too.
There's White Tank Mountain Regional Park in Maricopa.
Oh, it's in Maricopa County, yeah. Wonder if that's like part of the South Mountain area and stuff. 'Cause I've been to the South Mountain many times, Camelback Mountain. I've climbed up that I don't know how many times. The Mojave Rattler's snake average between 2 and 4 foot in length and are usually distributed between a wide variety of arid habitat. There you go. Yeah, because I've never seen a big Mojave,
No, they're thick.
but I have seen. I've seen some timber rattlers that. In fact, I was in a Jeep and we rolled over one. We thought it was a log in the road from a distance, and it was so big and fat. It was down in I want to say Louisiana, but it was like I thought it was like a tree limb fell over on the road.
I ain't so big anymore, Big Mike.
And that thing was huge.
I ain't so big anymore, just fat.
Okay. There's Don Lee.
The snake that almost bit me in Utah was a timber rattler. My dad took it out. My dad took it out.
I lived in Avondale. Okay, yeah, I know where Avondale is.
It said it's on the west side of the Phoenix Metro by Surprise.
Oh, so it's over there by the racetrack.
Yeah. Oh.
Phoenix International. Yeah, don't be rude.
See how close we are. That should be it.
Don't be rude after you trying to throw her under the bus with how old she is.
Is Camelback Mountain one of those where there's like 2 inches of space to walk? Yeah, in places, but Camelback is over. It's like between Scottsdale and Phoenix, or not really Phoenix, Paradise Valley. When you look at it, it looks like a camel with a hump when they're sitting down, and then the Camelback ends right there at the foothills. That's where they have the PGA golf course. All that stuff is right there, Camelback area. All right, Ming Ning, welcome in. There's Minty Cactus. She was live. I'm sorry I missed your live earlier. I was dealing with a snake and the fear of such.
Chicken.
I've killed more rattlesnakes here in the last 4 years than I ever did in Texas. Yeah. That's right. You're in New Mexico. Yeah. Now, Mindy Cactus, she lives down there where the Mojaves are.
Does anybody know what the most poisonous snake in the world is? I have no idea.
I thought it was like that. There's one in Australia, and then there's the black mamba. It's like you do a 2-step drop.
I think it's the brown snake in Australia.
Yeah, I didn't know which one it was. I know the black mamba, and I'm not talking about Kobe Bryant, the basketball player. I'm talking about the snake in Africa. And then there's also the brown snake of some sort down in Australia that will...
The inland taipan.
Inland taipan? Inland taipan.
Also known as the fierce snake.
Fierce snake.
And it is in Australia.
And it's in Australia. That's the most poisonous one on the planet.
Wow.
I do know that Australia has 10 of the most poisonous snakes in the top 100.
And spiders.
Oh, spiders have got the top 15.
Australia's got all the stuff that will kill you.
See, that's why the redcoats sent their prisoners down there.
Yep.
And if you can live through that, you're good. You just can't leave that island.
No, they sent them there to colonize it.
Yeah. Kill everything first before the civilized people come in.
Basically.
Yeah.
But then again, didn't King George do that with everything?
Yeah, he did. King George was a rascal.
No, King George was a tyrannical bastard.
There you go. Jesse
Yep,
confirmed it.
I just seen it. He's doing his Google thing.
The inland taipan snake is rated as #1 most venomous snake in the world. So
Do you know what I think?
I will not live anywhere where there's the deadliest snake in the world. I visited there. I stayed in the city. I didn't see a snake until we went to the Sydney Zoo. And I don't look in the cage. I just walk by them. I go look at the koala bears.
I wish we could have that.
Koala bear kind of guy. That's what I am.
Alligator.
Mike,
Yep.
I'm going to have to ask you to turn your man card in.
Sorry.
Turn it in. Terri's had that in her purse for years.
Now we have alligator, Alcatraz. Yep.
Do you know what Dorney's talking about, Big Mike?
What's that?
Do you know what alligator Alcatraz is?
I don't know. That's why I was acting befuddled.
It's the new detention thing they're setting up for illegals.
Oh, they're going to reopen up Alcatraz?
No. They're building a new one, and it's surrounded by crocodiles.
Where's that
Or
at?
alligators.
Jesse, hurry. Where's that at?
The Florida Everglades.
The Florida Everglades?
Yeah.
It's going to be a floating prison?
No, they're building a prison that's got 3 sides covered by the Florida Everglades for the illegals.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No way. I didn't know about that.
I didn't know alligators like Mexican food.
They'll eat anything if it's walking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Just don't cook
I'm
it. It's got
sorry.
to be raw. It's got to be
I'm
raw.
sorry.
meat.
I didn't even know about this.
Now, if anybody got offended by that, you need to go to the description and read. This is adult conversation, and we
This is adult conversation, and we don't give a shit.
Yeah, we don't.
No.
Now, where I have to mind my P's and Q's is when I got Terry next to me on our main channel. I mean, this is our main channel, but when we do hanging at the homestead, yeah, I can't say nothing. She'll nudge me.
Oh,
Even I behave on that one, Mike.
Jesse's just listing all the deadly snakes.
thank you.
You might.
Oh,
You're quite welcome, Rebecca.
should have never asked the question.
All right. Where are there no snakes? And how much is housing there?
Alaska. Antarctica.
Alaska. There you go. But I can't get Terry above the Mason-Dixon line. It's too cold.
I was in Nome. I don't remember any snakes there, but mosquitoes are bad there. They'll carry
Yeah,
you.
they are. They are. I mean, you got to give up one for the other, right?
Yep.
I'd rather have the snakes than the mozzies.
Now,
Brutally.
I thought that Hawaii doesn't have snakes. I heard that they took
They've
those
got
all out.
snakes. They've got snakes. Oh, yeah.
But not poisonous snakes. I never heard that. I heard that they were extinct because they were, I don't know
There you go,
what.
Jennifer. I'll give you a deal.
Jesse, are there any snakes in Hawaii? Because I'll live there.
I know why Simply Jan stopped coming on.
2 minutes.
Oh, he didn't
Simply
come on.
Jan, Simply Jan was the Google queen. And now Jesse beats her every time.
There's 2 venomous snakes in Hawaii.
The yellow-bellied sea snake and the brown tree snake.
The brown tree snake.
However,
That's the one I knew about.
rarely encountered.
But they are rarely encountered. That means there's not very many of them.
No, that means they're very good at keeping out the way.
Mike, if you move there, you'll see them because they'll come.
I will I will find them.
Yeah.
There's no doubt I could live anywhere. I'd be in Alaska. Ooh, there's a snake. It might be a branch, but I thought it was a snake.
Yeah, even we've got snakes. We don't see them often.
Iceland, Ireland, Antarctica, Greenland, New Zealand, the small Pacific islands. I could live in one of those places. But what's your tax rate? That's what I want to know. If you're going to take up to half of my pay for your socialized programs, I don't want to move there. Yeah, and I think that guy who won the Democratic nomination for mayor of New York, I guess the DOJ dove deep into his backyard, and they found some stuff about him. He's actually I'm not going to say it, but they found some stuff about him. He's a declared Democrat socialist, and he won the party's ticket to run for mayor. So, but I just read something about the DOJ has uncovered some, and see, that's why I would never run for office, because somebody would dig in my past and bring stuff up that I didn't want brought up, because they'll find it. Journalists will find it for that.
Terrie is blogged and booked every time you've smacked her ass. Haven't you, Terrie?
Jennifer, you're up in Canada land, aren't you? My property tax on 13 acres is $330 a year. Well, that's not too bad. I had 100, but I had, It's what? It's higher than yours, isn't it?
Yeah, I have 116 acres. I only pay $700 a year.
Yeah. I had 160 acres in Pulaski County, and my property tax was only like, well, that's several years ago, $390.
Yeah.
Big Mike used to be a singer called Marty Robbins.
And I had a four-bedroom house on the property too, which was nothing to scream about. The country shack.
Mm-hmm.
But I was happy there.
Calling that a house was like,
That's enough. That's enough, honey.
It's a stretch.
I love you. But see, I was happy.
Guam only really has brown tree snakes.
Oh, Guam. I could live in Guam. We love Guam. They have brown tree snakes, but they're not poisonous.
Well, they are.
Oh, they are?
Not deadly.
Not deadly. Yeah. It'll piss you off, but yeah. All right. So, hey, guys, I hope you guys have a great 4th of July. I got people coming over. We watch YouTube to pick up a mower and a tiller, so I got to get off here. We will be live. I will be live on Tuesday with Sergeant's Talk TV, 8 o'clock Central Time. Then Wednesday, Terrie and I, MT Homestead, hanging at the Homestead for family night, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then Friday, from Tennessee, Morning Talks with Mike. The thumbnail's already up. Please come and see us, and we'll tell you what the first 2 days on the ridge is like. Okay, so hope you guys have a blessed week. Be safe out there, and remember, be kind to one another. Help somebody in need, and always think of that. Paul, would you like to say a last comment?
Yeah, I keep asking you, did we manage to fix the feedback?
Yes.
Yeah, I finally figured out how to use bloody, what's this bloody format?
StreamYard?
Yeah,
YouTube?
I finally figured out how to use StreamYard, and I've just cut YouTube off altogether.
There you go.
I don't like it.
It's only been a month, but hey, you got it.
Hey, I'm slow. I'm what they call a PC 10.
Jerry, what are you doing for 4th of July?
Farm work.
Farm work. All right, keeping it American.
We
There
got
you go.
things to do.
No, he's keeping it a farmer.
And we know that Rebecca's going down to Jefferson City, the capital, for the fireworks show. All right.
Well,
Hey, guys, we love you. What?
from this red coat to all you Americans, I hope you have a great time.
There you go.
Stay safe.
We love you. God bless you. And we'll see you on the next video, guys. Hey, remember that Lord of the Flies just came out this morning.
I've seen it.
6:45. Check that one out. And guys, we love you. And we'll see you later. Bye.
I've seen it.
Later, guys.
Later.